Wondermous. Welcome to our podcast. My name is Merikay Hunt, and I'm so excited. Today we have a special guest from the National Society of Certified Healthcare Business Consultants. Her name is Amanda Waesch. And Amanda, why don't you briefly introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what inspired you to get into your role as a healthcare attorney?
Sure. Thank you so much, Merikay, for having me. I am a healthcare attorney at Brennan Manna Diamond, and my inspiration was I really wanted a job. And my law firm graciously offered me one and gave me a tremendous opportunity as a law clerk to clerk during my second and third year of law school. And then I received an offer. And my law firm is nationally known for its corporate healthcare practice. It's one of our largest practice areas. So you could say that I just kind of fell into it, but that's how I ended up at the fantastic firm that I am in.
Awesome. And Amanda and I have known each other several years through the NSCHBC, as I mentioned, and she's also the education chair. So we get to work in collaboration to help provide education and training to our members. And Amanda, what do you think inspired you to take on that leadership role within the society?
Well, I'm extremely passionate about education. Before I had my third child, I actually taught at the law school. I taught healthcare at the law school. It was a class that was offered in the evening, and I was an adjunct professor. And I really feel like when you teach, you actually learn more yourself, and you learn from the students, and you learn the material. And teaching is a passion of mine. I'm also a frequent speaker on various topics for different trade organizations, and because of that, I have been able to meet lots of other different speakers and experts. And so I'm passionate about it. I feel like I have a lot of resources that I can offer the society in terms of speakers, maybe getting some speakers that maybe they couldn't get otherwise, or just different opportunities, different networking opportunities for the members. And so I love it. And I just feel like I learn more, and I'm able to access a very special network that benefits my clients,
That's
and,
awesome.
yeah, I mean, you're one of them, Merikay. I mean, we had you come in, for our firm retreat to speak to our attorneys, and it was fantastic. So
Thank you.
it's just those connection opportunities, and I love it.
Well, one of the things that's a blessing about those in healthcare, whether they're on the provider side, the consulting side, the education sector, they have made a commitment to be a lifelong learner. And in this quest of lifelong learning, oftentimes we have different phases of where we're juggling different priorities and responsibilities. And you mentioned you had your third child. So tell our audience, for those that might not know, what's one of your secret powers that involves some rah-rah?
Yeah, so I live vicariously through my 13-year-old daughter. I'm a cheer coach, and I've done that for a long time. So I cheered in school when I was younger. I was a cheerleader in college, many years ago. And so now I go back and I help out with the youth. I actually coach 2 different teams this year. So that's a little bit more than I've done in the past. It's only 1 year, or one team. So now I'm coaching 2 teams. I love it. I love the girls, and it's not just about like teaching cheers and dances and things like that. It's about like respecting your teammates and just being role models within the school. Cheerleaders are supposed to spread cheer and go sit with the kid at the table that doesn't have anyone to sit with, and just that camaraderie within the school district, and giving them skills to go out and be leaders. So it's really fun to see the girls blossom, and every once in a while I bring a cheer to the different organizations that I'm involved with, including the NSCHBC. And I would say that you're my biggest cheerleader in the audience.
I got to sit in the front. I want to pay attention, but also I want to encourage the speakers. And you mentioned something about the girls, about respect, camaraderie, support. role modeling and leadership. And those are things that are so paramount in organizations that thrive and survive, and also in healthcare entities. Those components help not only impact the business side of success, but also the patient experience side. So tell our audience a little bit about your firm and the different services that they provide, because there may be somebody listening that could benefit from some of the offerings that you all give support to in healthcare.
Sure. So we're a full service law firm. We have about 100 attorneys throughout the nation. We basically offer every specialty except for criminal and domestic and family law. So, but our largest area, like I mentioned, is corporate healthcare. We do a lot of regulatory compliance, a lot of corporate work in the healthcare space, employment issues. One of the things that I'm really passionate about, and kind of as I don't want to say get older, but as my career progresses,
more seasons.
as my career progresses, meeting with clients and their leadership boards and kind of talking about strategic planning and different strategies that they can use, in their business, and then how do we implement those?
Sure.
So we offer, the basic, legal compliance work, but then I really enjoy the strategy and meeting with boards and leadership and identifying opportunities and ways that we can achieve some goals to achieve those opportunities.
That's great. So you mentioned that you had started as a law clerk. Talk a little bit about the growth and the scaling, because there may be someone that's really sort of on the fence about, do I take on more team members? Do I expand sort of my reach? So talk a little bit about the evolution of that with your firm.
Yeah. I will say my firm is fantastic. I was extremely lucky to be offered the opportunity to clerk during my second year. So here's a fun fact that you may not know, Merikay. I had interviewed with several firms. I was top of my class. I had interviewed with several firms, and I never was given an offer for a clerkship. And and so I went to the career office and I said, there's something wrong here. Like, am I not interviewing well? Can we look at my resume?
Sure.
And I was top of my class. And so they set me up with a mock interview, and they were like, your interviewing skills are fine. Your resume looks great. And the career office said, look, maybe these firms just aren't a fit for you. But there's a relatively younger firm in town, and this is in Akron, Ohio.
Right.
Which is my firm now. We opened our doors in the year 2000. So it is a relatively
silver anniversary.
Yes, we just had our anniversary. Yep, exactly. And the career office said, they really don't have a whole lot of law clerks because they're really young, right? They only had 7 attorneys, but they're the fastest growing law firm in Akron. We could probably get you an interview and see where it goes. And so I was actually, so I interviewed, and they said, well, we really do need a clerk because we're growing rapidly.
Sure.
But it's just on a temporary basis, and it's we can't make any promises. And lo and behold, we grew from 7 to over 100 attorneys in the last 25 years.
Wow.
And they gave me an offer, and then I worked my way up. I was really lucky to work for a number of healthcare partners that were extremely busy and had very diversified client bases. And so I learned a lot, and I just engrossed myself in, what can I do? How many hours can I bill? Can I follow you around? That's what I did. Can I follow you around? Can I listen to phone calls? And it just absorbed all of the learning that was going on around me. And then I got pregnant.
Wow.
I got married in law school. I got pregnant, and I was high risk with all 3 of my pregnancies, and I was on bed rest. This was before Zoom, Skype,
Sure.
what we're doing now. And so I had like my home had to be outfitted, with, high speed internet and to be able to work from my bed, and couriers were coming to my house and for
And
7 months,
security and all sorts of stuff.
everything. And the firm did it. I mean,
Wow.
this is like 2008, 2009, right? And the firm did it. And that was an age where like you didn't have these calls.
Sure.
You went and met with the client, or the client came to the office, or you flew to their office to meet them.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that 3 times.
Wow.
So God bless my firm.
Absolutely.
And
So
here I am.
that's awesome. I mean, I have to say, there's 2 things that really came to my heart when you were sharing that. One, I'm curious, those original firms that you interviewed with, what really sort of shined to me is that maybe your enthusiasm level or your sense of passion and your communication skills, it might have intimidated them a little bit, and maybe they felt a little threatened. That's what was coming to my heart. And the other thing too, I applaud you for leaning in and taking a position that some would have maybe felt it was beneath them. And that's really about emotional intelligence, flexibility, willingness, and your personality is one of the things that I do admire, and I do love your enthusiasm. But I also love your dedication to the people that you work with, your dedication to your actual craft, and the dedication that you have to your family. And I know that you've been a guest when we have our mastermind programs, and that's through the society. And one of the things that I think is important with a lot of the leaders I've been interviewing is kind of that work-life counterbalance, or that work-life integration. So how do you keep it all together so that you're not going cray cray, as our children would say?
Well, you're so sweet, because it's hard to keep it together after hearing you say that. Yeah, I've learned the power in the last couple years as my children are, in high school, and I can see kind of the end in sight. I've learned the power of saying no, which is harder than saying yes.
Yes.
And,
Oh, I got goosebumps when you just said that.
it's something that I'm still learning, and I'm not great at. But I'm doing better, and I'm getting more comfortable with it. And it's just about being present for them. And there's a lot of things that I could do, right? A lot of boards that I could be on, a lot more hours that I could bill. But that's not what's important. And so I spend a lot of time, I don't meditate because I'm not very good at it, but I do.
Is it hard for you to sit still for 10 minutes?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Although I tell myself, like, that's one thing I'd like to try to do. But when I have like quiet moments, which is usually like me cleaning or cooking by myself, and I can just think, do mindless things, right? Or run or get on the treadmill or something. I think about like what's important, and what did I turn away to do what's important, and just being at peace with that. Like, I'm totally at peace with it,
Good. Well, and
going to the volleyball game versus,
yeah,
billing 3 extra hours. I mean, trust me, I'm getting the job done, but
sure. Well, and
I'm present for that volleyball game.
Absolutely. One of my mantras for 2025 was, if it doesn't bring me peace and joy, I move away from it.
I love it.
And so just a little coaching tip for all of those of us that need to say no more. If someone asks you to serve on a board or to do something that's not really in line with your vision or your goals that you've established for that year, you can say, thank you, Amanda, so much for thinking of me. At this time, I've established my priorities for 2025, and that is not in alignment. And I do wish you all the best for the future. So that way it's like this little itty bitty sentence that we can say that honors the ask, but also stays congruent to what you set before you. And because there'll be a season when you won't be coaching and cheering as much. There'll be a season when you might not take on as many speaking engagements, and so you can't be home or whatnot. But I think it's being willing to be flexible and also establishing the boundaries, like you said. So I'm curious, in your stepping stone walking journey of leadership, what's been a big learning lesson for you that's really helped you overcome obstacles and learn in your career?
Well, definitely the willingness to say like I screwed up. Like
Yeah.
I screwed up. What can I do better? How can I reprioritize?
Hmm.
And and the other thing that I did when I was a younger attorney is I listened a lot and I followed a ton of people.
Hmm.
And just learning your craft. And I tell this to younger attorneys, like, if you know your craft, the work will come, right? It'll
Mm,
either come from internal folks who know that like this is your niche area,
sure.
or from word of mouth. But
Hmm.
if you don't know and you haven't taken the time to like build your foundation and know your craft and know how to communicate with clients and
Right.
understand their business needs, if you haven't taken the time to do that and you go and you walk into a meeting and you try to talk the talk, they'll see right through you
Right.
instantly. um
Right.
and I spent a lot of years being extremely frustrated that the work was not coming, like the clients weren't coming, and then all of a sudden it was like an avalanche. And I owe
Wow.
that to like just grinding my first
Yeah.
few years.
Well, and one of the sayings that we've used is building business is about building relationships. And you strike me as the kind of person that would maximize your strengths, but also leverage the people around you that complement you in the areas where you might not be as strong. And that comes back to your transparency and just sort of your openness and willing to communicate. So I'm curious, is there somebody that you really admired that kind of influenced your professionalism or your career journey?
I have a number of mentors here at the firm.
Hmm.
I was extremely lucky to have four fantastic partners that
Mm,
I worked for, and still work with. And each one of them were very different, right? They had a
mm,
different style and they had a different set of clients and different niche areas. And I worked with all of them very closely, and I consider them all my mentors. I've
hmm.
had the opportunity to honor them all in different ways publicly, which
Aw.
was really special. Um, so I definitely owe a lot to them.
Mm,
Especially where I'm at in my career today.
hmm.
Specifically, Jack Diamond, who's the founder of our firm, Matt Heinley, past president of our firm, and John Childs.
Mm.
Um, he's When you talk about mentors, there are some mentors like for work, right?
Right.
I'm struggling with this issue. Can I bounce an idea off of you? And then there are mentors about your life, right?
Yeah.
Your life mentors, and so they have each kind of filled that role in different ways
Mm.
throughout the year. So that's really special.
I like the team atmosphere that is present, and also, some organizations there's this internal competition, and I really feel like that we don't thrive as well when we have that. But the core values that you all have and that support of one another is very admirable. So one of the things that I think is encouraging to me and also interesting is, what do you see ahead? Like, what do you see for the firm or for you in the next 2 to 3 years?
For me personally, I want to continue to be present for my family
Mm-hmm.
until my littlest one graduates high school. And then I see myself definitely giving back more to the firm. So that's where I see the next, 5 to 7 years for me,
Mm-hmm.
is focusing on my children,
Sure.
and then giving back to my firm. The firm is growing rapidly. And we are every year, I'm so surprised. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I'm just impressed with the culture that we continue to foster, and
Mm-hmm.
our administrative team is phenomenal. We could not do what we do as lawyers without them.
Sure.
They understand our vision. And so I'm just so appreciative of them and their efforts. And I think that our firm will continue to grow in a positive way, not just growth for growth's sake, but
Sure.
in a positive way that's going to benefit our clients in service areas that we may need, more bench strength.
Right.
We'll continue to promote more attorneys to member and continue to grow those numbers. And that's exciting when you see personal growth among the attorneys, which is overall growth for the firm. And
Sure.
so I think, we continue to have that hockey stick growth, which is really exciting for everyone.
So one of my favorite questions, and my final question for you, is if you could talk to your younger self and give yourself words of wisdom or encouragement, what would you say?
I would say you need to have more patience. And I would still say that. I would still say that now. Because I'm like an instant, like I need to do it now. More patience and learn the power of no sooner. And I would say throw your plans out the window, tear them up, throw them out the window. I mean, we should make plans and have goals, but I had such a rigid pathway to what I thought was success.
Sure.
And the God and the universe, they were like, no, it's not. No. And they all started with, you're not getting offers from those firms.
Right.
You need to go here. Right. And I thought, well, I'm not going to get married. I'm going to wait until I'm in my 30s. I have to have my career established. I got married in law school. Right.
Right.
Well, and then I was on bed rest with all three of my children. And so I think that was the universe's way of saying, like, you can't plan everything.
Right.
And now looking back, I realize that, but when I was younger, I didn't. I was like, nothing's going according to plan. So it's all like patience and, that there's a plan for you out there, and learn how to roll with the punches and
absolutely
learn your boundaries. So it's fun that I'm now kind of like looking back going, Amanda, it worked out.
Yeah.
It'll be
lean in and learn and be flexible. Yes. I love it. So how can people get in touch with your firm or you, Amanda? Give them some insight into that.
Yeah. So visit our website, bmdllc.com. That's Brennan Manna Diamond, LLC. Look at all of our fantastic attorneys. But we appreciate it.
Awesome. And if you want to learn about the National Society for Certified Healthcare Business Consultants, it's nschbc.org. Again, I'm Merikay Hunt, your host, founder of Coach MK Companies, where we're dedicated to take leaders and teams to the next level. Blessings to each of you, and make every day count.